Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I've been pretty surprised by the number of views that my weekly videos have been getting. I'd appreciate if you could continue to share these videos and help get them to an even wider audience. On this week's edition, we're going to look at more traditional drop back pass protections. Everyone in the NFL uses these concepts, and many lower level teams use them as well. This is more of a general knowledge sharing video to help expand knowledge around offensive concepts. The main thing to watch when diagnosing what protection an offense is using is to watch the center. He almost always will be the key indicator of what side of the protection is being set and what that means for the opposite side of the line. Okay, let's start out by looking at half slide protection. So the basic idea here is that we're going to split the formation in half. This is going to be a slide right. So on the right side of the line, they're going to be in a zone protection concept. So Connor Williams will have his backside gap, Robert Hunt, his backside gap, and Austin Jackson will have his backside gap. On the other half, this is going to be a man protection concept where they're taking the two most dangerous defenders. So the pre-snap look is going to have Isaiah Wynn going to the defensive tackle and Kendall Lamb going to the defensive end. As we watch this play start to go through, number 19 is actually going to bail out of the formation, and that allows Connor Williams to slide over and help Robert Hunt, who's pulled down by the defensive tackle. On the man side of the protection, you can see that it stays exactly as it is pre-snap, and it's just a 2-on-2 protection. In this next example of half slide, you can see that New England is disguising their blitz pretty well. This is a slide left, so Connor Williams will have this backside gap, Isaiah Wynn will have the B gap, and Kendall Lamb will have the C gap. On the man protection side, they're adding Raheem Mostert to the protection, so now he is going to have the first most dangerous defender, which is going to be whoever's coming through that A gap. Robert Hunt will have the second most dangerous defender. Pre-snap looks like that's going to be the defensive tackle. And Austin Jackson will have the third most dangerous defender, which pre-snap looks to be this defensive end. Durham Smythe isn't really part of this protection. He's going to look to give a chip before he gets out into his pass route. So looking at the right side here first, Tyreek's going to come in motion. Everybody's going to take their initial pass set. You can see the linebacker out here is actually dropping into coverage. So Austin Jackson, instead of blocking space out here, is going to help Robert Hunt. And you see Raheem Mostert coming across to get that A-gap blitz. Looking over at the zone side, we have 3 blockers and 4 possible defenders. As soon as the ball snapped, number 8 is going to drop out. And we can see the twist starting here between the defensive tackle and the defensive end. Connor Williams does a nice job with his gap responsibility and continues to slide. When I first looked at this, I thought that it was Kendall Lamb who failed to take his outside gap and to get this edge rusher. The ball got out, so it really wasn't a big factor. But as I slow it down and look at it more, I think it was actually Isaiah Wynn who follows that twist inside a little too far, and Kendall Lamb is not able to let go of the defensive tackle because that would give a shorter path to the quarterback. Okay, one more half slide protection here. So one thing we're going to look at first here is that the lack of movement of the linebackers on Raheem Mostert's motion here is a good indication that it's zone coverage and the Dolphins are going to have numbers on the perimeter. So this gives a green light for the running back screen. So in our half slide protection, it's going to be a slide right. So A gap, B gap, C gap. In a normal half slide protection, most dangerous defender would look to be defensive tackle, defensive end. But because they're running a running back screen, instead of Lamb taking the defensive end, he's going to help inside with Wynn. And the way they're going to handle the defensive end is that Durham Smythe is going to set up almost a basketball style pick just to make sure that if that defender recognizes the screen early and tries to retrace his steps, he's not able to do that. So again, going back, we can see that slide on the right side. Robert Hunt's checking inside, but still protecting that outside gap and ready for something to happen there. On the left side, we're given the illusion of a free rush when really that's exactly what the Dolphins want that defensive end to do, is to fly inside and take himself out of the play. Our next type of protection is a three-quarter slide. So instead of cutting the formation in half, this is going to be a slide left. So the formation is going to get cut at the right guard position. So similar to half slide, the slide side of the protection is going to be a zone concept. So Liam Eichenberg would have this A gap, Connor Williams this A gap. We got Lester Cotton at left guard getting the B gap, and then Kendall Lamb with the C gap. On the man side of this protection, it's a little different because they're not necessarily looking for the most dangerous defender. He's basically manned up, and regardless of what happens, he's going to be man-on-man with the defensive end over here. This type of protection means the quarterback knows this B gap is completely unprotected unless they would have a running back in the protection, which they don't here. As we roll through this, you can see the entire left side of the line setting to their left side. Austin Jackson is getting out here on his one-on-one. And you can see the defensive end is committing upfield. That's Kendall Lamb's outside gap. So you're essentially creating a one-on-one there. And then on the inside with the two stand-up rushers, they're twisting. But all three of those linemen do a good job of protecting their gap. And with a 3-on-2 protection, they're able to negate that pretty well. Here's another three-quarter slide protection. This is going to be a slide left again. So the defense is getting cut at the right guard. Each of these linemen are getting their backside gap. Austin Jackson, one-on-one with the defensive end. What we're going to see on this play is that we're actually going to get a linebacker blitzing through that B gap like we talked about on the last play. Durham Smythe, as you saw him going in motion there, is running a wheel route with just one defender on the outside. Tua knows this linebacker is coming on the blitz, and he also knows that Tyreek Hill, as you can see on the edge here, has outside leverage on the corner. So he knows immediately that all he has to do is give a quick, accurate pass to the outside for an easy touchdown. But this is a good example of how a protection can leave a defender unblocked by design, and the quarterback just needs to know where the ball has to get out. In this video so far, I hope I've helped you to understand drop back pass protections to give you some additional knowledge when watching football games this upcoming season. The plays that I've gone over, I felt were pretty straightforward protections. For this next play, I'm going to play it through a couple times and let you decide what protection this looks like at first. One more time. Okay, so when I first saved this play, I thought it would be a good example of full slide protection, which would be where all 5 linemen are sliding to the left and have their backside gap assignments. But after I slowed it down, I think this one's actually half slide protection to the left with a nice adjustment from the man protection side. So if we're looking at this as a half slide protection, we're drawing that line here. Left side of the line is going to be your zone protection, and the right side of your line is going to be your man protection. So pre-snap look, most dangerous men would be Robert Hunt on the defensive tackle and Austin Jackson on the defensive end. However, as soon as the ball's snapped, number 6, the linebacker here, blitzes through the A-gap. So he now becomes one of the most dangerous defenders. There's no running back help here, so the offensive line has to adjust to this. As you can see from the initial pass set, Austin Jackson is setting to that defensive end, which is why I think this is a half slide protection, but he quickly recognizes that linebacker blitzing and gets back to the inside. Robert Hunt also recognizes that linebacker blitz, and he gets to the inside as well, and they're able to pick up the two most dangerous defenders on the pass rush. From a quarterback perspective, again, you have to understand the protection, and you have to know that your unblocked defender is going to be this defensive end, while also understanding that by this linebacker blitzing, that's going to leave your hook to curl zone open. And what you'll see is that Tua does a good job of just knowing where his receiver is going to be in that open zone and getting the ball to him for an easy completion. All right, one more play for today. On this one, I just wanted to show how you can use a traditional pass protection and still add some creativity to the play call. So what we're going to end up on this one is the shovel pass to Achane for a touchdown against the Broncos in Week 3. The initial protection look is going to be a half slide to the right protection. So we got Williams going to the A gap, Hunt B gap, and Austin Jackson C gap. On the man side, we would typically see Isaiah Wynn going to the tackle, and we got Teron Armstead over here going to the end. But similar to that running back screen that we looked at earlier, we're going to see Teron Armstead help inside to give the illusion of a free rush by the defensive end. As we start the play, we see the slides. We see Teron Armstead going to the inside, and Achane is going to give a little bluff block on that defensive end before he circles back inside for a little shovel underneath and getting to the touchdown. Connor Williams, I think, was attempting to take that defensive tackle a little further over into the A gap, but it didn't work out quite as well. You can see on this side that Isaiah Wynn is trying to pass that off to Teron Armstead so that he can get to the next block. And I believe that ideally the path would have been more over here, but Achane is just a good athlete and is able to break a tackle and get the touchdown. Thanks for watching this week's video. I hope that you're able to learn something that I've shared today. As always, if you have an idea for a future video, leave it in the comments. And if you'd like to see more content from me, check out the Scouting Combine podcast on the 5 Reasons Sports Network YouTube page. New episodes air every Thursday evening. See you guys next week.